Hello everybody, my name is Bella and today I will be reading for you about Sherlock Holmes, the Spectre Pen and part 4. Now get started. About 11 o'clock we saw a light. It was the lamp shining from a bedroom window. Holmes jumped out excitedly. "That's our signal, Weston," he said. "Come on." We hurried along the road. The yellow light was still shining from the bedroom window. We went into the garden of Throckmorton and walked toward the house. Suddenly, a dark shape ran in front of us. It was likely a child with very long arms, but it was not a child. I felt very afraid. "What was that, Holmes?" I asked. Holmes laughed quietly. "It was one of Dieter's animals," he said. "That was the baboon." We reached the house and climbed through the window into Julia's bedroom. Holmes closed the window. They whispered in my ear. "We must put out the light, Weston. Dieter might see the light through the ventilator." I took my gun out of my pocket and put it on the table. Holmes had brought a long, thin stick with him. He put this stick on the bed. He put a box of matches beside the stick. I put out the lamp and we waited. I should never forget that terrible night. We were in complete darkness, and we knew we mustn't make a sound. We heard the bell in the village clock. It struck midnight, then 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Still we waited. Suddenly, I saw a light shining through the ventilator. Somebody in Dieter's room lit a lamp. I heard someone moving quietly. Then everything was silent again. Another half hour passed. Then I heard a strange noise, a very soft, hissing noise. The noise was near us in the bedroom. Holmes jumped out and lit a match. Immediately I heard a loud, clear whistle. Suddenly Holmes began hitting the bell rope with his stick. By the light of the match I started swaying. It was full of horror. "Do you see it, Weston?" he shouted, but I saw nothing. Holmes stopped hitting the bell rope and gasped up at the ventilator. Suddenly we heard a dreadful cry, a cry of pain and terror. I felt cold and sick with fear. "Not with that cry," I whispered. "It means that everything is over," said Holmes. "Bring your gun and let's go into Dieter's room." Holmes lit the lamp, then followed him through the corridor to Dieter's room. We knocked tight our door on the door, but there was no reply. Pushed the door open and entered the room. A terrible sight met our eyes. Dieter was sitting beside his stand. The door of the stand was open. The short stick with the noose lay across Dieter's knees. Dieter was dead. His eyes were staring upwards in terror. There was something strange around his ears. It was bright yellow with brown speckles. "The pen!" whispered Holmes. "The speaker dance pen!" I stepped forward. Immediately, the strange pen began to move. "It's Snake!" I cried in horror. Quickly Holmes grabbed the stick with the noose of the end. He caught the snake head in the noose. Then he threw the snake into the iron safe and closed the door. The metal door clenched shut. The speckled Ben. Next morning, we took Helen's journal away from Throckmorton. The poor girl was devastated by what had happened. We talked to her aunt's house in London, and she would stay there until her wedding. We also told the police about Dieter's death. Then we returned to an apartment in Baker Street. Tell me something, Holmes, I said. How did you know the speculating was a snake? Well, said Holmes, then, when I examined Julia's journal bedroom, I saw a barrel and a ventilator. I thought they could both force. Then I noticed the bed was faced to the floor. I and I realized that something could pass through the ventilator. It could travel down the bedroom and land on the bedroom. Immediately, I thought of a snake. Titanosaurus has other strange animals from India. It could be easy for him to have a snake as well. So he kept it in his safe and fed it with milk. And every night he pulled the snake through the ventilator. It went into his starter's room and came down the rope. He knew that one night it could bite the girl in the bed. How did you make the snake come back to him? I asked. Titanosaurus' signal to the snake was a whistle, replied uh, with slicker, replied Holmes. When the snake heard the whistle, it returned to its master. Julia and Helen also heard the whistle. One on the night her sister died, I said. Helen Stornold heard the sound of metal clenching against metal. That was a same door trailing shut, said Holmes. So when you heard the hissing noise in the room last night, I say, you knew it wasn't a snake. Yes, so I hid it by my stick and went back through the village. But the blows from my stick also made it angry. That's why it beats Deterrado. Deterrado wanted his stepdaughter's money, I said. He killed Julia's Johnny and he tried to kill her sister, Helen too. But his plans went wrong. The snake finally killed his master. Exactly, said Holmes, and I don't feel very sorry for him. So, I've been to tell you all about Singapore and the speaker pen. And if you can see in the picture, there is Teacher Rorot and her eye was staring in terror. This is Snake, and here's Sherlock and Teacher Goston. So, goodbye, and thank you for listening to me. Goodbye.